Hello, friends. Today I'm going to try an experiment with you, and so bear with me. We'll start with this object, which is called an apple. But what we learn from this is we can learn from any other object how to discover the universe in any object and also yourself in any object. Okay, so traditionally, in English, this is referred to as an apple. Okay. It comes from an apple tree, and this is the fruit which has seeds inside it, which are the potential for future apple trees. Okay, and every seed in there is the promise of orchards, thousands of orchards, and then tens of thousands, unlimited orchards exist as potential inside this object that we call an apple. But of course, it's not only coming from a tree, but it is the potential for other trees, orchards, forests, and those, of course, include everything from earth, water, air, the biosphere, sunlight, and the sun, and photosynthesis, and what else? The solar system, etc. But this is the expression of the total universe at this moment, which we call now. And of course, that those light particles, you can't see them. You can't actually see light. What you're seeing is dust, which is given visibility by photons, which are invisible. And of course, this is a color that is also made possible by the reflection of photons, colorless photons. And those photons have a dual nature according to our current science, and that is, when observed, they are particles of matter with units of mass and energy, but when unobserved, they are waves of possibility in mathematical space, in Hilbert space, which is an infinite dimensional space from which the whole universe emerges. And the ground of all this and everything else is the quantum field, which pervades all of space and time. So this comes from emptiness and everything else that I mentioned, that this is a movement of, comes from emptiness. Okay, and that emptiness is pregnant with possibilities of universes, literally. Okay, and the potential for infinite universes. So I would say science would agree that by looking at this object called an apple, we can discover the universe. But what about you who's observing this? Okay, what is that? And how do you actually experience this? You know, the word apple is an English word which describes this experience. And other languages also have words for apple which describe this experience. But how do you know this experience? You know this experience by seeing. And what are you seeing? Color, shape, form, smelling. Unique smell, by the way, apple smell. And what else? Taste, if I bite into it, and then if I actually start to chew it, I experience the crunchiness of the texture, I experience the taste, okay, and I'm experiencing sensations. So this is known to me through a combination of sensations, colors, shapes, flavors, smells, and possibly sounds. And all these, by the way, are essentially meaningless till I label this particular combination of sensations as the apple. This alchemy of sensations as the apple. And then if I want to label this combination of sensations, I call it a pear, yeah. And then if I do the same thing with this, I call it an orange. But those are words that describe alchemies of sensations. So where do these sensations come from? Well, they're fluctuations of awareness, because only through awareness can you know sensation. They're fluctuations of awareness experiencing themselves as this. This is awareness, consciousness, and that is fluctuating as the combination of these sensations. And that consciousness, where this experience is happening, where all experience is happening, including listening to me right now, that consciousness or awareness has no form again. It is empty and pregnant with possibilities of experience of universes. Okay. So through the window of science, what we describe as an apple, photons, photosynthesis, etc., everything I've said, from the window of science, this is a model of experience, as is this a model of experience. The actual experience is the combination of sensations, which are fluctuations of the self of the individual, the self of the universe. So this experience goes along with this experience, all this experience, all that experience simultaneously, all entangled and correlated in a field of infinite possibilities, infinite self-regulation, infinite organization, infinite evolution, and infinite correlation. Maybe I said that already. So what's this? This is infinite being, borderless, formless, irreducible, fundamental, shapeless, timeless, beyond birth and death, which is manifesting right now as this, which goes along with this, all this. So this is instant enlightenment in an apple. Instant enlightenment in an apple. You, that is manifesting as this particular apple and everything else, is the infinite formless that keeps fluctuating as the infinite forms and phenomena that we call the universe. But that which is fluctuating is not in time and is immortal. That's why the Bhagavad Gita, when talking about that reality, says, water cannot burn, water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it, fire cannot burn it, weapons cannot shatter it. And it is infinite, it is unborn, it is not subject to death, and it is you. Knowing this, we can be free. We can be free of the fluctuations of consciousness that are manifestations of our own self, like waves on the surface of the ocean, or like the programs on the screen. All come and go as the cosmic dream, God's dream. All this is God's dream, and this too. But who are you? You are the divine that is dreaming all this. I hope that helps, and if it doesn't, I had a good time explaining it anyway. Okay, and now I shall enjoy this apple. Take care. By the way, Digital Dharma is available. I always want you to know. And tonight I'm speaking at Wisdom 2.0 on AI and how it can elevate our spiritual intelligence and personal well being. And of course, you can continue conversations with my digital twin at digitaldeepak.ai. Take care.